So now today let us solve one numerical problem, so which is related to the Gauss seidel method. Right, read the problem. Figure 7.7 shows the single line diagram of a sample 3-bus power system. So data for this system are given in table 7.2 and 7.3. Right, using the Gauss seidel method, determine the phasor values of voltage at buses 2 and 3. Perform only 2 iterations. And second one, find the slack bus real and reactive power after second iteration. Neglect the line charging admittances. Okay, so here a simple 3-bus power system is given, and the data for this system is given in table 2.7.2 and 7.3, so which are in the next slide. So this is the data given for that 3-bus system. Okay, so now for this system, first a bit is by using Gauss seidel method, you have to determine the phasor values of voltage at buses 2 and 3. Right, so buses at bus 2 and bus 3, you have to determine the voltage by using the Gauss seidel method. And second bit is, after finding the voltage, find the slack bus real and reactive powers after second iteration. Okay, so you have to perform 2 iterations in the second iteration. So what is the voltage at bus 2 and bus 3, and what is the real power and reactive power at slack bus? So these you have to find out. Okay, so generally slack bus will be represented with bus number 1. And what are the parameters that are specified at slack bus? So magnitude of voltage and delta, this angle will be generally will be specified at slack bus. Okay, so once check the data given for this simple power system network in the next slide. So right, so this is a table 2.7.2 and 7.3. So the in 7.2, the scheduled generation and loads and assumed bus voltage for the sample power system is given, and in table 7.3, line impedances are given. Right, if you observe the table 7.2, so now for your given power system network, you have 3 buses. Right, so the first bus is the slack bus. So at slack bus, generally the voltage and angle is given. So now then here assumed bus voltage. So this is given as 1.05 plus j 0.0. Okay, and at slack bus generally this generation and load will not be specified. Okay, and bus 2. So at bus 2, voltage is given. Voltage is assumed over bus voltage, right? So and megawatt power MER. So megawatt power is nothing but PI, this one, injected power, sorry, generated power. So this is generated power, and this is reactive power which is generated, and here load is given, right? PL and QL. So this data is given, right? If you observe the second bus, P generation, P demand, both are given, and Q generation and Q demand or Q load, both are given. So which means that if you know the generation and P generation and P demand, so then you can find out the real power injection PI. So which is the difference of generation minus demand. So PG minus PL. Okay, so which is equal to, so this 50 minus this 305.6. Okay, so 50, so minus, so 305.6. Okay, this is the real power injection in megawatts, right? Similarly, reactive power injection QA can be determined as Q generation minus Q demand. so which is QL. So if you Q generation here is 30 and QL is 140 minus 2, 140.2, right? You subtract these two, so then you will get the reactive power injection at bus number 2. So similarly for bus number 3, if you observe the bus number 3, so generation is given as 0 and load is given. Okay, right. And table 7.3 will show the line impedances. So from these line impedances, you have to determine the Y bus. Right. Let us solve this problem. So now if you observe here, the voltages given here are the 1.05, which is nothing but it is given in per units. These also assumed voltages. So this is also in per units and this is also in per units. Okay. So if you observe here, generation is given in megawatts and MER. Load also given in megawatts and MER. Right. So while solving the power system problems, so generally all parameters you have to represent in per unit systems, right? So now here you have to take base MVA as 100. Okay. So now you have to convert all these megawatt and MERs into per unit values. Okay. So then you have to proceed to the problem. We first convert them to per unit values with the base of 100 MVA. Okay. So now initial step is you have to calculate the all powers in per units. Okay. So now PL PL2, which is nothing but a real power load at bus number 2 is equal to, so now if you want to convert into per unit values, first actual value by base value you have to take actual value of real power at second bus. What the value? This one. At second bus, P PL is 305.6. So if you want to convert this into per units by 100, you have to take base actual value by base value. Similarly, at bus number 2, bus number 3 also 138.6 by 100. So you will get the per unit value. So for this also, for MER also, this by 100 you will get MER in per units. This by 100 you will get MER in per units at third bus. Right. For this similarly for generation also 50 by 100 will give you the megawatt generation at second bus in per units. 30 by 100 will give you the MER generation at second bus in per units. Okay. So those calculations are done in step 1. See here. Okay. PL2, which is 305.6 by 100, which is equal to 3.056 per units. PL3 value 138 by 138.6 by 100, which is 1.386 in per units, and QL2 140.2 by 100, which is 1.402 per units. QL3 is 45.2 100, which is 0.452 per units. So now similarly convert all the generation in per units. Generation also 50 by 100, which is 0.5 per unit. QGT is 30 by 100, which is 0.3 per unit. Now all the parameters we got in per units. So now from the generation and demand values, you have to compute the injected powers, net injected power at bus 2. Injected power at bus 2 is equal to generation power minus load power, right? So in per units, I am subtracting here 0.5 minus 3.056, which is in minus 2.556 per units. Similarly, injected power at bus 2, injected reactive power, right? This will be QG2 minus QL2, so which is you are getting minus 1.102 per units you are getting. So similarly, At bus 3 also you have to calculate the injective active power and injective reactive power. So as same as the bus 2, right? Generation minus demand will give you the injection power. Okay, so now all the injected powers, load powers, everything will be converted into per units. All the parameters are in per unit. So you have to go to the next step. So next step is you have to form the Y-bus matrix. Okay, form the Y-bus matrix. So for this 3-bus power system network, right? So from the given line data, okay. So if you see in previous slide problem, so this is the line data given, okay. So bus code IK. So between the line is between 1 and 2 buses. So we are and it is having impedance. So between 1 and 3 you have the transmission line which is having a impedance 0.01 plus j 0.03. The line between 2 and 3 buses is having impedance of 0.0125 plus j 0.025. Right. From this line data you have to calculate the Y-bus matrix. Okay, so Y-bus is the admittance matrix. So you have to convert all these impedances into admittances first. Okay, right. Okay, so now here we are converting all the impedances into admittances, right? So admittance between buses 1 and 2, which is small y12 is equal to, so y12 as y bus is a symmetric matrix, y12 will be equal to y21 also. So this is equal to 1 by impedance of the transmission line, which is between 1 and 2, right? So the impedance of transmission line between 1 and 2 is given as, so this value. So you have to invert this so that you will get y12 is equal to 10 minus j20. Similarly, the transmission line which is connected between 1 and 3, so that the transmission line admittance y13 which is same as y31 is equal to 1 by z13. So this will be 10 minus j30. Similarly, the transmission line impedance for admittance y23, so which is same as y32. So this is equal to 1 by z23. So 1 by 0.0125 plus j 0.025, you will get 16 minus j32. So these three values are the admittances of transmission lines, so which is connected between 1 and 2, 1 and 3, and 2 and 3. So these admittances values I have shown on these lines. So between 1 and 2, this transmission line is having this much of admittance. Actually this is impedance, so this was converted into admittance. Okay, so this is the impedance of 1 and 3, so we are converted into admittance. This is the impedance of transmission line between 2 and 3. So this is the admittance for this. Okay, so we were converted all the impedances into admittances. Okay, so then, so Y bus matrix from the direct inspection method, if you calculate, right? So as there are 3 buses, you will get a Y bus matrix which is of the order of 3 by 3, right? So your Y bus will be having an order of 3 by 3. So the elements are y11, y12, y13, so then y21, y22, so y23, so y31, y32, y3, right? So this is the 3 by 3 matrix. Now these diagonal elements, so diagonal elements of this Y bus matrix, these values y11 is equal to the sum of the admittances connected to bus number 1. So y22 is equal to sum of the admittances connected to bus number 2. Y33 is the sum of the admittances connected to Y33. So you will get the self admittances, which are Y11, Y22, Y3. So Y11, which is equal to, so at second bus, sum of the admittances connected to at second bus is Y12 and Y13. There are two transmissions connected to first bus. So which is Y12, this is, so Y12 and this is Y13. So if you sum Y12, Y13, you will get, so Y11 of your Y bus matrix, right? So now if you observe the second bus is connected with the two transmission lines, which are Y12 and Y23, right? So now sum of these two admittances Y12 and Y23 will give you the Y22. Similarly for bus number 3, so that transmission line connected to bus number 3 are Y13 and Y23. So the sum of the admittances is Y13 plus Y23. So this is the admittance, self admittance of bus 3. Okay, Y3. So now you got the all the diagonal elements. So all the diagonal element values are equal to sum of the admittances connected to that particular bus, right? So these values are complex values now. So you may convert them into polar form. Okay, so then you convert them into polar form, you will get these values. Okay, right? You got the diagonal elements. Now what about the off diagonal elements? Y12, Y13, Y23, Y21, Y31, and Y32. So these are the off diagonal elements. So the value of off diagonal element is equal to negative of sum of the admittances connected between the lines 1 and 2. Okay. So if you want to calculate the off diagonal element Y12, so this is equal to negative of sum of the admittances connected between buses 1 and 2. So now if you observe buses 1 and 2, there is only one transmission line which is having admittance Y12. So this is minus of Y12, right? So this Y12 is equal to minus of small y12, which is minus of 10 minus j20. So if you convert them into polar form, you will get this value. So similarly y13, so y12 and y21 both are the same as y bus is symmetric matrix. Y12 is same as y21. So now next, if you calculate y13 or y31 both are same, so which is equal to negative of sum of the admittances connected between buses 3 and 1. Buses 3 and 1, between buses 3 and 1, you have only one transmission line whose admittance is y13. So minus of this y13, you will get the y bus elements y13 and y31. Similarly, y23, y23 and y32 is equal to minus of admittances connected between transmission lines 3 and 2. Right, between 3 and 2 buses, you have only one transmission line again. So minus of this admittance of transmission line will give you the y23 and y32 elements of your y bus, which is 16 minus of 16 minus j32. So when you convert them into polar form, you will get this value finally, right? So you got the all the y bus elements, right? Now if you represent in matrix form, so then this is the y bus, right? This is the second step in Gauss Seidel method. Okay, so in the first step, you have to read the data such that all values are in per units. Suppose if generation and demand is given, then you have to convert them into you have to calculate the injective from the generation and demand. You have to calculate the injected reactive power and injective active power. Okay, right? So then after forming the y bus, next go to third step. So this is the third step. Here you have to start the Gauss Seidel iteration process, right? You have to calculate the voltage, right? So the voltage to be calculated by using the expression by right. Okay. Right. The voltage at any bus I can be calculated from the Gauss Seidel iteration process by this expression, which is Vi is equal to 1 by Yii into Pi minus jqi by Vi conjugate minus sigma k is equal to 1 to 4, not 4 here. Actually, if there are 4 number of buses, you have to represent this as 4. If there are n number of buses, this will be n, right? So k is equal to 1 to n, but k not equal to I. Suppose if you are calculating the voltage at ith bus, so this k should not be equal to I, right? Into Yik Vk. So this is the equation for getting the voltage at particular bus I. So here I values are bus numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n values. Okay, and this I should not be same as the slack bus. Okay, so if you are having n number of buses, at slack bus you no need to calculate the voltage. Okay, at slack bus the voltage will be specified. So general that voltage is always fixed. You should not change the slack bus voltage. So from the second bus onwards you have to calculate the voltage by using this equation. So I should not be equal to s, which is 1. Slack bus is numbered with 1, so I should not be equal to 1. So from bus 2 onwards you have to calculate the voltage. Okay, so right, V2. So by neglecting the slack bus, so next bus you have to consider, which is second bus. So now you calculate the V2. So now from this equation, V2 is equal to, in place of I you have to substitute 2. Okay, so V2 is equal to 1 by Y22 into P2 minus JQ2 by V2 conjugate minus sigma k is equal to 1 to n. N here is number of buses, which is in our problem it is 3. So k is equal to 1 to 3, but k should not be equal to 2. Why? Because you are solving for voltage at second bus. So k should not be equal to I, which is 2 in, right, into Y2k Vk. So this is the voltage equation, right, at bus number 2, right? So you expand this sum. Okay, so then V2 can be written as y1 by y22 into P2 minus jq2 V2 conjugate minus, so now if you take k is equal to 1, then you will get y21 into V1. So y21 into V1, but k should not be equal to 2, so you should not take 2. So then you have to go for 3. K, when k is equal to 3, so this will become y23 V3, right? So your number of k is equal to only up to 1 to 3 only. So here you will end. Okay, so this is the final equation. Okay, so then in the similar way, if you want to calculate the voltage at the third bus, so then V3 is equal to 1 by Y33 into P3 minus JQ3 by V3 conjugate minus V31 V1 minus V32 V2 you will get. Okay, right. Right. In Gauss-Seidel method, the new calculated voltage at P plus 1th iteration, so which is represented as VIP plus 1, so immediately replaces the VIP and is used in the solution of subsequent equation. So therefore, above set equations can be written in iteration form as below. Okay. So by in Gauss-Seidel method, suppose if you want to calculate the voltage at P plus 1th iteration, which is represented as VIP plus 1, right? So in this, while calculating this VIP plus 1, you have to replace VIP, right? Immediately you replace the VIP, right? And is used in the solution of subsequent equation. Okay, right? If you write in terms of iterations, right? V2 P plus 1. So V2 value in P plus 1th iteration is equal to 1 by Y22 into P2 minus JQ2 by V2 in Pth iteration. You are calculating the V2 in P plus 1th iteration. So here, before, what is the value, that value you have to consider, right? If you are calculating for the second iteration, which is V22, so then this value will be considered as the value in the first iteration. So, okay, So V2P conjugate minus Y21 V1 minus Y23 V3, right? This V3 is in previous iteration values. Okay, we are calculating it for second iteration. This P will be here is first iteration. Okay, so now this voltage V1, which is the slack bus voltage, which is fixed value. Okay, so in any iteration this voltage is fixed. So in a similar way, suppose if you want to calculate the V3, so V3 in P plus 1th iteration, right? So then this value is equal to 1 by Y33 into P3 minus JQ3. So V3 in Pth iteration, as you are calculating the P plus 1th iteration V3. So here in the right hand side, you have to take the previous iteration value, which is V3 P conjugate minus Y31 V1, right? This V1 value is same as it is a slack bus voltage, minus Y32 V2, and this V2 value what you have to take is P plus 1th iteration value, not Pth iteration value. So here if you observe here you are taking the V3 in Pth iteration, right? So while calculating V2 in P plus 1th iteration, V3 in Pth iteration you are taken. So but if you observe in this equation, after calculating V2 value, so the right, so that means V2 value is updated in the second iteration as V2 V plus 1, right? So here the V2 value what you have to use here, the most recently updated value, as so because as you are already updated the V2 value in P plus 1 iteration, that value only you have to take here. Okay, right. So this is the equation of Gauss-Seidel method, right? So now solve the problem using those equations, right? Initially you have to assume the slack bus voltage. The slack bus voltage, if you go for problem, slack bus voltage is given here. Okay, so see here at bus number 1, it is assumed that the voltage will be 1.05 plus J0. So in the similarly the assumed voltage for second bus and third bus also will be given, which is 1 plus J0. Okay, so you use those values. Yeah, slack bus voltage V1 is equal to 1.05 plus J0. So this slack bus voltage is doesn't change in subsequent iterations, so it will be constant for all the iterations. Okay, right? So now in the second bus voltage and third bus voltage initially, so it is this 0 represents the initial voltage, that V2 0, which is 1 plus J0, V3 0, 1 plus J0. Okay, so now you have to calculate the V2 and V3 in subsequent iterations in this problem. Okay, so right, so here you have to do 2 iterations. So first we do the first iteration, okay, using the Gauss-Seidel method. So the equation is explained in the previous slide, this one. These are the equations. Okay, so now if you observe here, V2 in P plus 1th iteration, V2 in P plus 1th iteration, and V3 in P plus 1th iteration, right? So now this P2 minus JQ2 by this value Y22, right? So this value first you calculate. Okay, so then 1 by sorry, y21 by y22 you calculate, y23 by y22 you calculate. So initially we are calculating these values, P2 minus JQ2 by Y22, Y21 by Y22, Y23 by Y22. Okay, initially calculate those values. Okay, this one P2 minus JQ2 by Y22, Y21 by Y22, Y23 by Y22. So these values what we got here is this. Okay, right. So now by using that equation, V2P plus 1 is equal to P2 minus JQ2 by Y22. So that value by V2P conjugate minus, so Y21 by Y22 into v1 actually. So as this value is minus, so minus minus will get plus, so plus 0.3846 v1. Similarly this is also minus, so here we will get plus 0.6153 v3. Okay. So this is the voltage at the second bus in p plus 1th iteration, right? If you put p is equal to 0, you will get the first iteration value, which is v21, so which is equal to 0.98305. Okay. Similarly, after completing the v2 value in the first iteration, you go for the second v3 value. Okay. So v3, so now here similarly, first you calculate the p3 minus jq3 by y33, y31 by y33, y32 by y33. Okay. So these all are the, so what all these terms, what are all these terms, right? So in the previous equation, y33, what is y33 in the p plus 1 iteration? Here, if you observe, so y3 in p plus 1 iteration is equal to, so p3 minus, so now you bring this 1 by y33 inside this bracket, what will get? P3 minus jq3 by y33 you get. Okay, that p3 minus jq3 by y33 first you will calculate. So then y31 by y33, so then y32 by y33. So those all three values are first calculated and then substituted in the same equation. Okay. Here, what we are doing is the, first you calculate the p3 minus jq3 by y33, y31 by y32, y32 by y33. These values are these. Okay. So you know all these values, y31, y33. So from the y bus, you know the y31, y33, y32, y33. And in the first step, we have calculated the p3 and q3, so in per units. You are just substituting those values and you are getting these. So then now you substitute all those three parameters in the v3 p plus 1 iteration, right? So which is 0.0217 by at an angle 229.20 degrees by v2p conjugate minus, so this one, so this one is this into v1 and this into v2. So v2 here is, you have to substitute which is calculated it previously, so which is in p plus 1 iteration. So you are calculated the v2, so before itself, so here you have to use v2 p plus 1. So now you substitute v1 v2 p plus 1 and v2 p conjugate all the values. V3 in first iteration what you get is 1.0011 at an angle of minus 2.06 degrees. Okay. So similarly you do the same in second iteration also. Okay. Right. In the first iteration, after completion of first iteration, the values of voltages are v2 in first iteration is equal to 0.98305 at an angle of minus 1.8 degrees. V3 in first iteration is 1.0011 at an angle of minus 2.06 degrees. Okay. So now in the second iteration, you calculate the same voltage V2 and V3. So for that, you have to put in place of P 1. So right. So if you put P is equal to 1, V2 P plus 1 will become V22. Right. Right. So this component P2 minus JQ2 by Y22, thus value will be the same. So which is calculated previously, right? By V2 in first iteration conjugate plus Y. Here this value is, what is this value? Y1 Y, so go back, this one Y21 by Y22. So in the second next term Y23 by V2 Y22. So the same values only we are going to substitute here in the second iteration. also. Yeah. Okay. So after substituting all the values in this equation, what you get here is the V2 in second iteration is 0.98265, which is at an angle of minus 3.048 degrees. Similarly, you calculate V3 in the second iteration. Okay, put P is equal to 1 in the equation V3 P plus 1, so that you will get the V3 in the second iteration 1.00099 at an angle of minus 2.68 degrees. So at the end of second iteration, V2 and V3 values are given in this table. Okay. So this is with this problem A is completed. So right, next in problem B, you have to compute the real and reactive power at the slack bus. So slack bus is numbered as bus number 1. So you have to calculate P1 and Q1. So now step 4, compute the slack bus active and reactive powers. Okay. So now slack bus active and reactive powers will be calculated. So by using the expression uh, PA is equal to sigma of k is equal to 1 to n magnitude of I, magnitude of Vk, magnitude of Ik into cos theta Ik minus delta I minus plus delta k. So by using this equation, so what is this equation? So this is the one of the static load flow equation. So you derived the static load flow equation. In static there are two equations, so which are for PI and QI, real power injected at ith bus and reactive power injected at the ith bus. These are the static load flow equations. Already we derived it, right? So once you go back to that video lecture, okay. So now here, as you have to compute the slack bus power. Slack bus is numbered with 1. So here I will become 1. Right now, when in place of I, if you substitute 1, P1 is equal to sigma k is equal to 1 to n. Here is 3 bus number, only 3 way, right? Into magnitude of V1 Vk by 1k cos theta 1k minus del 1 plus delta k. Okay. So now you expand this summation by substituting k is equal to 1 to 3. So then you will get this equation. Okay. Right. So now you know the values: magnitude of V1, magnitude of V2, delta 2, delta 3. Okay. So magnitude of, so in problem V1 is assumed voltage is given as, so 1.05 plus J0, right? So now if you convert into polar form, what you will get is 1.05 at an angle of delta. So at an angle of delta here is 0 degrees. Okay. So this is the magnitude and this is the angle for V1. So magnitude is 1.05, this value, and angle is 0 degrees. Delta 1 is 0 degrees. Similarly, so at V2 and V3, so you have calculated the V2 and V3 in the step 3. Okay. If you observe here, V2 and V3 in the second iteration, after second iteration is 0.98265 at an angle of minus 3.048 degrees. Okay. V3 in second iteration is 1.000999 at an angle of minus 2.68 degrees. Okay. Here, this is the magnitude of V2 and this is the angle is del 2. So this is magnitude of V3 and this is del 3. Okay. How to take those values. See here. So magnitude of V2 and angle. Magnitude of V3 and angle here. Right. So what is the magnitude of Y1? From the Y bus matrix, you will get the magnitude of Y1 at the same time angle also. Okay. So if you go back to Y bus step, see here. So this y11, so y11 is 53.85 at an angle of minus 63.2 degrees. So this is the magnitude of y11 and this is the theta 11. Okay, similarly, so this is magnitude of y12 and this will be angle theta 12. So this is magnitude of y13 and this is angle 3 theta 13, like that. For all the elements, magnitude and angle is given here. We got here. Okay. So theta values, magnitude of V values, delta values, for all the buses. Okay. So now you can compute the slack bus power by using static load flow equations. Okay. Right. So all the values are, so simply you substitute all the values in this equation so that you will get the P1, which is the slack bus real power. So which what you are getting here is 3.83 per units. So not in megawatts. Okay. So this is all the values in the above are substituted per units, right? So the final value also in per unit, which is P1 is equal to 3.83 in per unit. Suppose if you want to calculate the P1 in megawatts, then you have to convert the per unit value into megawatts actual values, right? So actual value per unit value in general is per unit value is equal to so actual value by base value, right? So now to get the actual value, so this per unit value you have to multiply with base value. That base value is 100. So if you multiply 3.84 with 100, you will get actual value of actual value of power at slack bus, which is 384 megawatts. Similarly, by using another static load flow equation, which is for reactive power, you can calculate the reactive power at slack bus. See here. So reactive power general equation. So from the load flow equations, so reactive power at any injection at any bus I is can be written as minus of sigma k is equal to 1 to n magnitude of Vi, magnitude of Vk, magnitude of Yk sin theta Ik minus delta I plus delta k. Okay. So now you have to calculate this reactive power for bus number 1. So here you have to substitute I is equal to 1. So then Q1 is equal to minus K is equal to 1 to 3. Magnitude of Vi will be replaced by V1 into Vk by Ik. In place of I, you have to get 1. So y1k into sin theta. Ik is here 1k minus del I means in place of I1. So del 1 plus del k. Okay. In place of I, if you substitute 1, you will get this equation. So then you expand the summation term. So from k is equal to 1 to k, so that you will get this equation finally. Okay. So now in this equation, you know all the values. Magnitude of v1 you know, y11 you know, theta 11 you know, right? All the values are known here. So simply you substitute all the values in this equation. So then you will get the slack bus reactive power, which is Q1 is equal to 1.9786 per units. So now not in megawatts, per unit. If you want in megawatts, you have to simply multiply with 100 so that you will get 197.86 megawatts.